Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Art of Creation show. I'm your host, Frank Fradella. I'm alongside my lovely and talented co-host, Rebecca Jane Boswell. Rebecca, where are you today?
Today, I'm in upstate New York, and actually, I'm at a lovely Panera. Probably people here are wondering who I'm talking to, what I'm talking about, and you know what? That might be something that they have in common with all of you out there, because maybe you are wondering the same exact things.
The same exact thing. Who knows? I'm actually not broadcasting from Torino today. I'm coming to you live from Roma. Lovely Rome, ancient Rome. You can feel the history around here. It's an amazing feeling. Every time you turn a corner, it's like, oh, ruins. And you have to kind of walk around shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's from an American perspective, walking around Rome is just mind-boggling in the sense of the age of things that you feel. Whereas in America, literally, we don't have a structure or an edifice there that's more than 250 years old. And here you're multiplying that by a factor of 100. You're seeing things that are thousands of years old, and the history coming off of everything is just it's so immense and
yeah.
Wow.
Like, oh, that's the Pantheon. Oh, that's the Colosseum. Oh, the Forum. Oh, I read. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize all the people that have walked those streets and have, sat in different areas along in that city, and you really, you can perceive how much has just occurred there and how much of that energy is still there. Even.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you'll see the way the city was laid out, because you'll turn a corner, and like we were in a cab earlier, and you'll turn a corner, and at the bottom of this slow, incline, there's this, there's these Roman columns and these gorgeous statues, and they're thousands of years old, and you can just imagine that this was like the boulevard that people spilled into when they were coming from their homes into the city and stuff. And it's just like you imagine walking down this road in a toga, and like you just really get the sense of what ancient Rome must have been like, because so much of it is still here. And that's just a mind-boggling perspective. So, wow. The contribution to me, just it's immense. What are you doing upstate New York?
Yeah, good question. So I've been bouncing around between Austin and we were in Tennessee. I mean, no, we weren't in Tennessee. That was actually one of the few places we haven't been. So I don't know where that came from. We were in Indiana, Indiana and Kentucky, and then Saratoga, and now down more towards Albany. In between, I've been to Austin a few times, working out all of our stuff. We do have an offer on our house in Greenville, South Carolina. So after Monday, Wednesday, everything there should be, what would it take for it to just be smooth sailing from here on out? And we found a place in Austin, which is awesome. So right now, I'm here with the kids, and we've been doing the family tour of the United States, and it's been very interesting. I know we've talked before about awareness exceeding allowance, and I'm using a lot of tools. So how does it get any better than that? So we're here, and probably in the next week I'll be back down in South Carolina to facilitate the movers and all of that, and then it's into Austin, and boom, there you have it. So I would love to be in Rome with you, though, right now, assisting with Corey Michelle and having all that fun. So
oh my God,
some of that over across the pond.
Oh man! So Corey's class, I don't even know the name of this class. Honestly, it's unfucking your crazy possible future or something like that. It's like she's just some magical fucking unicorn facilitator of magnitude. She's fucking amazing. And the class this morning, just plagued and beset by technical issues, which I wouldn't even mention except the fact that I was supposed to be handling all of that, and like it was just beyond my control. Control.
Silly you.
Yeah, silly me, right? Interesting
Yeah.
point of view. So, yeah, so there's one thing that the class and you being in New York and South Carolina and Austin and me being in Rome and Torino and London on Monday, all of these things have a common theme of change happening faster than we might have, been comfortable with, right? And it's the kind of thing where I love this because, like, if you had told me that like a year ago, right, when we were planning to move to Italy, we had this on the horizon. We knew that we were going to go. We had a date that we were going, and ultimately it was just a matter of buying plane tickets and booking an Airbnb and blah, blah, blah. We had months and months to put these things in line. And then it was just a matter of like getting money in place and blah, 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 right? But it happened over a span of time that would have been reasonable by any stretch of the imagination. And all of a sudden, here we are. We found out like on one day that I wasn't getting the apartment in Torino that I thought I was getting. And I let that go. And the second I let it go, that choice created the awareness that we weren't going to get the documents that I needed to get citizenship in time before our 90-day visa expired. So we had to leave in like 4 days. In the meantime, I was booked to come to Rome to work with Corey and Michelle on this class. So the second I get back, like literally I leave on Sunday night, I take a train home, I get back at 2 o'clock in the morning, I pack a car and I drive to London. Like that's the kind of time frame that we were suddenly, what previously we had done in months, we were now doing in hours, right? Figuring out pet passports. Your pet needs a passport. Your pet.
Yes.
What? What? They're not marrying anybody. They don't need citizenship. It's a dog. It poops. It pees. It plays fetch. Give me a break. So, Rebecca, tell me the top 3 tools. Give me one tool. Give me one tool, Rebecca, that you use to handle this kind of massive change. That happens so quickly.
Oh my God.
Give me something.
Okay, so what I have been using quite a bit. And, I got to say, sometimes it's not always sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. Sometimes I lose my cool. But the big thing is really recognizing, okay, who does this, like, none of this is mine. First of all, like, who does this belong to? Like, I already know it's not mine. I already know it. So, okay, so it's not mine. Okay, cool. So now this thing is, like, all this stuff gets lighter, it goes away. Okay, awesome. And then there's the stuff that doesn't go away. And it's like, okay, so it's not mine, and yet it's not totally going away. So, okay, well, interesting point of view that I have this point of view that I am going to allow whatever this thing is to either make me feel this way or, have power over me in whatever way I'm giving it power. And so lots of times that will then, change things. Okay, interesting point of view. Like, I don't actually have to buy it as mine, right? And then there's the piece where it's like, oh, I'm going to also acknowledge here all the places where my allowance is not quite there when my awareness is like, boom. So when my awareness exceeds my allowance and I start to see all these different things, right? Like this year has been really interesting because I'm not just coming and being a convenient guest that can kind of move through, that just has all their stuff kind of flowing and going. Like there are a lot of big things that are just these big open pending questions, which awesome, right? Is that actually what I've been asking for? And at the same time, like, I kind of come from a background of like, what's your plan? What you gonna do? Are you set? Are you gonna be happy? Are you good? Can blah, blah, blah. So like, I don't have any of that right now. I don't know. We're gonna go do this stuff, and you might not even agree with any of the choices we're making. I don't know. but like, this is what we're choosing, and this is our living, and this is our life. And then just seeing where all these pieces, like from the past, the information is available to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much that makes sense now. It's still kind of there. And now I also know I have a choice to dump it and get rid of it now that, and I'm seeing it all. And it's like going through all this stuff and recognizing I don't even have to go through all that stuff. I can literally just dump it. But there's like a backlog of dumping where I'm like, dump, 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 dump. And so like my finger's getting tired, So the last tool really for all of this then is like, okay, just expand out. Cause what I find is it's like, I get like, help me. So just like, okay, what's it going to take to actually take, even 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes just to go and find a space that's just for me, where I'm not responsible for or to anyone. Nobody requires me in any way. And I literally can just go and be like, okay, here's my body. And like, okay, here's my brain. I don't really require any of that stuff. So, and now, oh, my being, oh, there you are. Okay, now let's expand that out 100,000 miles in all directions, and another and another and another. And like, now let's just cast it out infinitely in all directions. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. Oh, okay, now I can do it again, right? Yeah. But just like, that has, in a nutshell, been like every 10 seconds of my last month since I've been on the road.
Well, let me tell you what's been working for me. There's a couple of things I'll share with you. First, of course, I did kind of start to go into that, oh my God, this is a huge move, and we have to do this so quickly, and like, this isn't what we had planned, and like, right? And I was in that phase until it seemed, for me, it came pretty quickly that simply we'll just buy plane tickets, we'll go to London. I booked an Airbnb, but like, finding a place, we didn't know if we were going to Ireland or England or Scotland, but it had to be in the UK. And so we were reaching out to people, waiting for them to get back to us. We were in this holding pattern. And Danny starts to look into getting Jane, our dog, over there. Now, Jane lives with Danny and the boys. So I put her in charge of that while I dealt with housing. And the first roadblock that she hit, where it didn't look like Jane could come on the plane, Danny just starts blubbering. And so the first tool that I put into action wasn't even an access tool. It was just an old relationship tool that I learned years ago, which was only one of you gets to go to the zoo at a time, right? And like Danny was just losing it, right? And it was just like all of a sudden, like without thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, only one of us gets to go to the zoo and it's her turn, so I've got to step up. And immediately, all of my points of view about how hard it was or how difficult it was or what a rush we were in, and all of those points of view, I just literally put them aside and was like, well, what choice can I make right now? What can I do right this second? And all of a sudden, all of the things just kind of like, I found this calm where it was just like, okay, well, there's only so many things that have to happen. So what can I do in these 10 seconds? Okay, so let me do that. And then I dealt with that, and by the time that was done, something else became available that I could make a choice on, and I can shift, and I got a new awareness on, and I made a different choice. And that happened a couple of times where I made a choice, I got a new awareness, and I made a different choice. Yeah. And in the end, like while Danny was still in this trauma and drama phase, I had booked a van that we could all just drive across the border with the dog. And it was just like, well, this is what's going to work, right? I wanted to fly. That would have been easy. It's a 2-hour flight. It would have been lovely. But instead, we're going to drive 14 hours just so we can get the dog across the border. So the interesting thing was that like there was no point in me when I was making that choice that I didn't want to do it, or it was going to be hard, or it was going to be a long night, or it was going to be miserable. It was simply the fact that this is the choice that's available, and this is the choice that actually gets us what we want. So that's the choice we make. And then after that, I was like, oh, fuck. Oh shit! All right, well it'll work, but it's not going to be the funnest night. But then.
But how was it? I mean, it can be kind of cool. I mean, you
drove from Italy. So now it's the question of how fun can it be? So
Yeah.
we'll see
I
what
mean,
happens.
you know, there are a lot of college students that pay money to do that. Like, that is what they're doing. Like, the whole goal is to get a van and drive from
Right.
Italy to London, right? Like,
Yes.
so, you know,
Somebody had a
what,
brilliant idea at dinner last night. They were like, maybe somebody's going to Maestro from London that would love a ride. And I'm like, oh my God. Because like what I have to do is I have to drive everybody to London. And then I have to turn around and return the truck back to Italy.
yeah,
And then fly back to London the same day. Like this
yeah.
is crazy. But
Oh
somebody
my
might
God.
actually be going to this Maestro class in Rome.
Yeah, from
So
London.
from London, I might be able to give somebody a ride.
Frank's busing service. See, if nothing else works out, Frank, you you've always got this.
I got this, man. I got this. Right?
That's always
So,
awesome.
joy and glory.
Super cool.
So
Yeah. So, what would it take to have a super party bus all the way back to Rome? I wonder.
let's get more than one person in the van on the way
Yeah,
back.
super
Right?
party bus. Yeah. What would it take? Pack them in.
Right? So instead of having to drive 12 hours by myself or 6 hours by myself, it's that everybody takes one shift. We each drive 1 hour. It's fantastic.
Yeah. What would it take to have so much fun that you'd be like, oh my gosh, why was this only 12 hours? I wish it would go on longer.
Stop in Paris and just hang out. I love it.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, so everybody who is asking for that magical thing to show up to get them to Rome, would you please tap into this energy and find Frank? Toot sweet.
Please. Thank you.
Cool.
All right, so
Awesome.
next week's show coming to you live from London and where?
Oh, I don't know. Next week, I don't know. It could be South Carolina. Maybe. We'll see. What would
Surprise
it
us,
take?
Jane Boswell.
It might
Surprise us.
still be here. I don't know.
Who's to say?
Who knows? Who
The
knows?
person, I look forward to the adventure that is our show every week.
Oh my gosh, yes, I wonder. And I'm really curious, for those of you who do watch the show, you know, what are the top 3 tools? Doesn't have to be Access. What top 3 tools have you been using in your life in the last week or year or forever, whatever? We would like to hear from you and see what you're choosing and what's working. And we'll bring that into the show next week. And yeah, I'd love to play with those tools too. So
leave those in the
what else,
comments
Frank?
below,
Yes.
and we'd be happy to answer those either in the comments or on next week's show. And we're going to be doing very, very soon, when we're a little more, when we can predict when these broadcasts are going to happen, we're actually going to allow.
Oh, no, we don't want to be predictable, do we,
It
Frank?
must be predictable. But we do want to make ourselves available for live facilitation on one of these shows, so you can call in and ask a question, and we'll deal with those. Yes. So until next time, Rebecca Jane Boswell, I've had so much fun. It should be illegal in Guam. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, and it might be. I don't know. I haven't talked to them recently.
Yeah, let's not do this from Guam because
it may be illegal.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys take care of yourselves and be excellent to each other. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
I'm your host, Frank Fidel, alongside Rebecca Jane Boswell on the Art of Creation Show. Take care, everybody.
See you next time. Bye.
Ciao.